Hello, dearest. Welcome back to another episode of Girl in the World podcast. My name is Claudia Auru, Timeless of Ashera, aka the host. If you're new, welcome. If you're back again, thank you for returning back here. And please engage with my content on social media at girlintheworld.podcast. That is TikTok and Instagram. And you can also listen to Girl in the World podcast on all your other favorite podcast platforms. Before I even get on to the inner details of the main thing I'm talking about today, I have this really, really eye opening activities that have been happening in the last week or so. So, okay, not exactly eye opening, but yeah, just worth recalling for this entire week for myself. So, I have previously okay, you see how in Kenya you're paying for the token or electricity and you have to key in like buy it on M-Pesa and then key everything in on your meter. So, apparently, this is an activity that I have done forever, like for so long, so many months, over 2 years when I was living in the last place I was at. And for some reason, my meter was always plugged into a socket that I never realized I am supposed to plug it into a socket for it to work. I just thought, oh, well, it stays here because I want to look at how much electricity I still like. Wait, can you say how much electricity I still have on? I'm not sure, but let's just go. So, it was always at the socket. I never realized, okay, maybe this is a requirement for it to be here. And I really don't know how dumb this is or if it's just being naive. But this week, the building is still new, so we were still using electricity was still being provided for by the building management because they just hadn't installed everything to do with the meter numbers and all that. So recently, they brought out the meters, so we're supposed to be paying for our own electricity from, say, maybe last week. But then the building caretaker had told me that, well, you can just wait until your electricity runs out from what the building is already offering, and then after that, you can buy your own token and use the electricity. So I knew at some point I was going to be in the dark and I was going to have to buy my own electricity. And I had done this process way too many times. I never thought it was a problem until I went into the dark one evening. It was around about 7:30. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. And the power goes out. I figured, okay, now I guess this is it. But first, I have to confirm: is it just me, or maybe power is out in the whole building or in the whole area or something? So I look out the balcony. I see, okay, the neighbors have electricity. I look out on the now. I get out of the apartment. I go down the stairs, and I've because like down the stairs there is the sensor lights. You'd know if there is electricity if the power goes on the stairs. So power goes on, so okay, I've realized I just need to buy my own electricity. I buy electricity, I key this thing in. How many times? About 4 times. It just says connecting, nothing comes up. Okay, now at this point I'm thinking it's either they gave me the wrong meter, and I am keying in electricity to someone else's house, or this meter thing just isn't working at all, or I just have an invalid token number. So I call the building caretaker and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? I think my meter isn't working because I'm trying to key in the token and there's just nothing that's happening. And the guy tells me, okay, I think it should be working. Like, I don't think there is any other problem. Nobody else in the building has complained about this in any other way. And then he tells me, okay, just try it one more time and then let me know because I'm not currently in the building, but I can get someone to come help you. And then I hang up. I try to key in the electricity again, the token number. Still nothing. I'm still in the dark. At this point, I'm starting to panic because I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? I can barely do anything in the dark. Plus, it's 2024 without internet, without like any form of technology. What are you really going to do at home? And in the dark as well. So at this point, I am panicking. I'm like, okay, what is going on? Plus, little things really, really make me little things make me so restless. So I knew, okay, it was gonna be sorted out, but I still had to make time to panic anyways. So this guy, I called the guy again. I'm telling him, okay, there definitely is a problem with the meter because I've keyed it in, it is not working again. And then he tells me, okay, maybe it's a problem with the socket that you are using. So how about you go down to, you change the socket, or if it's just maybe the battery has run out on the meter thing, you go down to the gatehouse and you put it in the socket over there, and then you just key in that whole token number over there. And I'm like, okay, maybe I will go down to the gatehouse then and check that out. And then I hung up, but I realized I just a few days ago I had talked to someone who lives in the same floor as me. So I'm like, okay, the gatehouse is pretty down low. I really do not want to go all the way down there right now. So maybe I could just go knock at this person's door and interrupt their entire evening just to ask them to key this token number in for me. I'd done that previously at my last apartment, to be honest, because yeah, at the last apartment, you really could not key in the token if you did not have any electricity at all. So, and then I remember, oh, he said maybe change sockets, and I'm like, wait, what does he mean change sockets? And then I realize all this time I've been keying this thing in, it has not been plugged into any socket. And I'm like, wait, do I really need to plug this thing into a socket for it to work? Because he told me before, like the meter thing does not require electricity, like it has a battery, so I don't really need to keep this thing in. But I figured, okay, Claudia, just put this in any socket and then key it again. If it doesn't work, then you go find a neighbor to help. Lo and behold, I put this thing in a socket and it works. The power comes back up. And then I realized that, yeah, I'm just a dumbass who does not know a single thing about about actually living. Cause how was I go if I did not call that guy, and if I did not get any sort of mind-blowing idea that, okay, he said change sockets, he said go to the gatehouse and plug it in there, then I wouldn't have had any sort of idea that this thing only works when it is keyed in. So that is one thing that it opened my eyes this week. I feel like I am reborn. I feel like I can see with a clearer eye at this moment. And oh my gosh, it's just been a wild, wild week for me. I just realized that I spent about 8 minutes talking about how clueless I was about electricity. Which, okay, I will not comment further on that. Another thing that I've realized is maybe somebody should have told us that when you record long audios about things on your own, maybe you're not supposed to listen back at your voice too much because it gets to a point and you are totally wondering what the hell is wrong with you. And since the last two episodes, I have really been rethinking my life choices. But we move regardless. We definitely have to move despite that. So, today on episode 3, I am talking about trust issues. Yeah. Recently, okay, is it recent though? Okay, it is not too long ago. I avoid a lot of time lapse and giving specific time frames on here, but let's just get into it. So there have been times when I was supposed to meet several people or maybe somebody, and I realized that there is a lot of trust issues that comes in different situations, even when you are just meeting somebody on a mere task or just a simple occasion. So, have you ever, as a woman that is, been supposed to meet someone? Okay, in this case, let's give it as an example of going out on a date, and you realize that you will not leave your bed or your house, your apartment at all until it's just a while before you're supposed to be meeting, but then they haven't texted you yet. Like, it is common courtesy. I feel like everybody experiences this. To some point, it looks like it's just a normal occurrence, but I was diving deeper into myself in the past week and I realized okay, it is not that I am not taking a shower before they actually confirm this, but I just don't trust them to actually show up in good time or even show up at all. And that is why I'm not showering. I'm just avoiding the disappointment of starting to prepare and then not being met halfway from where I have started already. So, I was talking to someone a while back. This is a man in this case. We were supposed to meet up in maybe the next day. So during the night, we were very communicative. There was a lot of conversation. And then the next day, we were supposed to meet at, say, 11. Wait, was it 11? No, it was 12 at noon. And in the morning, this isn't someone that I wanted to speak to that often. So it wasn't to a point where I was going to be saying, "Oh, good morning. How have you been? How did you sleep?" or ever. So I text this person at around 9:30, and I'm like, "Okay, so are we still up for later?" And they do not reply. And I realize, okay, I did not even ask that question just because I wanted to confirm. This is something we spoke about the whole of the previous day. So I obviously had it at the back of my mind. This is a plan that is already set up. But the only reason that I was asking was because I just did not trust the person to even make that much of an effort to show up. Now, if they turned up or not is a whole other issue. Okay, it is not a whole other issue. I ended up canceling that one time because apparently 12 noon ended up being too early and it was supposed to be pushed to 3 p.m. And the brain in my head had already set up on 12. There was no way I was going to sit back down and start getting ready at, say, around 2 or 1 p.m. My brain had set it up. There was no need for me to rearrange my entire day for that. But yeah, that is a huge thing that I have maybe seen among other people as well. You do not do anything unless there is a bit much of a confirmation about it. And a few days ago, I was meeting a girl. We were just going to hang out, whatever. And I realized it had even started translating from men to women as well. Because this is a friend of mine, like, we're casual, we're all this definitely good, we have a nice relationship going. But I still did not get into the shower to prepare at all until she replied back to the message, which was like maybe 1 minute after I texted it back. So I am wondering, is this a men to women kind of issue, or is this an like everybody's problem? Is it a gender thing? Is it just men that don't make sure to communicate right? Or is it I don't know, but you get the point. You get where I'm going with this. Also, I realized it isn't just it wouldn't be a general men's thing. It is the behavior of a man who doesn't like you thing. Yeah, because if someone likes you, they're definitely not going to have any problem communicating, even if there is any change in arrangements or stuff like that. So for today, I have put up a number of situations that ultimately give trust issue vibes. Because it just seems so interesting, and I really am trying to break down every single symptoms and signs of trust issues that might be existing in maybe in my current life or my previous life or my future life. I don't know, just on a general note. And I don't know if I would classify this under trust issues, but there is a thing of having quite a difficult time trusting the intentions of someone, or rather, the sincerity of somebody giving compliments to you. Personally, I would say, given an example of personal compliments, say mostly physical, I trust women offered compliments way more than compliments from men. Why is this so? No, you realize when a pretty lady tells you, "Oh, you look so good. Oh, you smell so good." I don't know, but I think we all do really. It is way better to trust a compliment given by a fellow woman than a compliment that's given by a fellow man, because not all men do this, but there is always some sort of ulterior motive or like an ulterior intention from men given compliments. Not in all cases, take note, not in all cases, but in several cases, there usually is something like that. So compliments just seem more realistic to me if they're coming from a fellow woman. Another part of like huge trust issues that I have been battling with, I don't think I had to add the with, but something we all do in, okay, we don't all do it. But one thing I did at a particular time in my life, a number of maybe years back. Okay, I will not say whether it's years or months back, but it was some time back, was going through a man's phone. Oh my gosh. Have you ever swore to yourself that you are never ever going to look at a man's phone again? Like ever? Because at the end of the day, you just want to be happy. And why would you want to ruin that? Why would you bring up unnecessary stress into your own life with your own actions? I decided on this a long time ago, one time when I realized that all the time, people say it on social media, if you're looking for something, you're definitely going to find it. And if you're already feeling cautious enough to want to find something, to want to look for something, then there definitely is something that is going to be found already. So it's either you accept it, that okay, this is just what it is, I am just cutting everything off at this point, or you just live with it. Because I don't know, you might think, but the confirmation of it, it's definitely going to be a whole blow to your entire heart, to your entire head, to your entire body. There is just no need to make myself suffer like that. I decided on that. I do not do that thing anymore. Oh my gosh. I learned such a massive lesson from it. I mean, w- we really cannot put blame game at this point, because there usually is someone to be blamed, obviously. But then, yeah, I just don't want to be the one that brings it upon myself. So it is a definite no, no, no for me at this point. I am never ever doing it again. But honestly, let us just be transparent here. How do you people trust things that people tell you? Say, okay, it definitely depends on who's telling you what. But just to be honest, how do you trust things that people tell you until they actually show for a fact a number of times that you can hold them to their word and they're going to, follow through with everything they say. Because at this, there is a point, I would say, it takes a series of activities, a series of promises kept before you can actually confirm that this is someone that is worth listening to, someone that it's even worth believing anything that they say at all. Because other than that, everything just seems like a whole big lie to you. It really doesn't seem like someone has any intentions of even being truthful about something else. Or maybe it is just a lot of trauma speaking from from other experiences. But come on, we do have all of these experiences. We've all went through something. I want to believe that I am not the only one. It helps me go to bed, so bear with me. But absolutely, we all have to be going through this. I really do not want to believe that I have most of these things going on and other people do not. And then one thing, like another thing people do a lot is like looking too much into social media. One time I think I saw it online somewhere on TikTok. It's like it was this joke. I don't remember the exact joke, but it was just something to do around with like a man telling you, "Oh, you're the only one, you're the only one." But then if you go to his following list, it's just so full of girls. Like there's hardly any men around there. It's literally full of women. This also reminds me of a guy that I was talking to on Instagram a while back. It wasn't even okay, a while back. Let me just say a while back. And this guy was doing all this flirting in my Instagram DMs. It was like, oh, going all this. And this guy was hot, guys. This guy was like really, really hot. But then I realized I go to his following list, it's women. Like there's a girl here, there's a girl there. And I start to look through, like I take a look at the profile pictures of this women, and I start to see, okay, does he even have a type? Because there's just every single type of woman there. Like, you see how you'd see a type of woman, like you'd see a particular type of women, and you'd go, okay, this is his type, and then you can use that, and you can maybe judge, okay, maybe this guy seem, maybe I'm not his type at all. That's why we're just doing a lot of flirting and nothing here. But then this man was literally on everyone's followers list. Like, okay, I do not want to extensively describe that, but let's just say there was no protocol. Every woman went. There was no protocol whatsoever. And that was just so odd. So I realized, okay, maybe the fact that I'm already looking at this following list is a huge sign that there's really nothing to be done here. But at the end of the day, it's not like everyone's supposed to be, oh, like, oh, we're gonna fall in love, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this together, we're gonna, like, yeah, some people are just not meant for that. And at some point, it's just easy to accept it and use them for what they are offering, or you like use them for what they are. And this is just, it just blows my mind how there's so many rules. You go online, you find all these videos of men talking. They're like men selling ebooks about how to win a man's heart, how to do this. When did the time get to this? When did it stop being so easy? When did it just become a game of chess to try and get people's attention? In the world where all you want to do is be happy, and you realize, oh, turns out I have to play a few more mind games before I can actually get the world at my feet. And all hell is breaking loose. What is it that we can just, can we just rest? Like, can't a girl just rest? Because this is getting out of hand. We are getting tired of this. Then I see these TikTok couples that are doing all this weird pranks. Like, okay, maybe they might not be as weird to them. or to other people, but to me, to they are to a certain extent. I mean, there's lots of it that's entertaining, and then there's just others that you wonder, what sort of belief do you have in this kind of thing? You see, people, something that a normal human being would not usually do, and then you go on and you prank someone about it, or it's like a test that you're doing for your partner. And what is it that's going on in our heads at this point? Because to some extent, you could get a very negative reaction to this sort of prank that you are doing. So what is the carriage that you're trying to build here? Wait, or am I just speaking from the perspective of someone who cannot? Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. There is no judgment here. Okay, there is no judgment. But maybe when you get to that kind of trust level where there are just certain things that you can expect somebody to react in a certain way, and you're not going to be massively surprised at the on the other side of your camera. But count me out of it, man. Until the point where I am in that sort of relationship where it feels like, oh, heaven and heart, oh, wow, heaven and heart. No, until it feels like the whole planet is going to sit down at my feet with my partner. No, I ain't doing no prank that's going to lead on the other side of the spectrum of what I think these emotions are. There is just way too many disappointments in life already. Why would you want to add on to it? Like, why would you bring trouble upon your own life just to test some theory that you don't even know if it's going to work, or that you've never even done this before. You've never experienced something like that before. We're all living once. Who makes you think that everybody's going to know exactly how to react to certain things? Anyways, now this is getting too personal. Cause what? Okay, let me take a breather. At the end of the day, though, it just goes down to, trying to just be safe and all that. Because you see how you notice, in different situations, someone can ask you, okay, someone's supposed to be paying for something, or you go out with somebody, they're supposed to be paying for something, and then somebody tells you, okay, let me pay this, and then, like, you can pay this, and then I'll send you the money later on. Do you really go out with, like, do you do that in this day and era, especially if it was made clear that the bill was like everyone was supposed to be sorting out their own bill and all? No, you do not. Or if the other persons are the ones supposed to be doing it, you do not do it yourself. So, okay, that is really just common courtesy, to be honest. It is not even about trust issues or whatever. Yeah, trust issues exist here and there, blah blah blah. But other things I can say, humans are just being stupid. And at some point, we all need to hit people's heads with like some fact and make them realize, okay, come back to earth. There is nothing too good on that other stupid side that you're trying to put your head at. So let's just come down. Not everything. Okay, don't judge each other too much about trust and whatever. I would also say there is someone also told me about having too much guarded communication when you have trust issues. Um, Guarded in the sense that you avoid giving way too much personal information, especially in terms of feelings, towards the other person, just because you are scared of where this is going to go, or how much reciprocation is going to be given, is going to. Wait, what? No, you guard communication because you are unsure about the reciprocation levels that someone is going to offer back. So, It seems like a simple thing. Sometimes you're like, okay, it's too new. We cannot do this. You can't say this at this point yet. But no, at the end of the day, it all comes down to you just giving vague information because it kind of feels like, okay, too much too soon. It's just going to end up on the crappy side of this entire lifetime of mine. So we can hide it all that, but there's just the point of trying to be way too open with yourself and just seeing, okay, this is where the world is going. This is where I need to be on this side of facts and theory. If you were to ask me though, Claudia, what's the biggest form of trust issues you've ever experienced? I would say it is the part where my therapist ghosted me one time. That was a massive one. That was the part where I realized, okay, maybe it is not me. Maybe it is the whole world, or maybe it's not the whole world and it just circles back. I don't know, cuz this is one person that's supposed to be the everything, the epitome of understanding. Cuz yeah, okay, they're human too, whatever. But then you chose the job. Why would you ghost me as a therapist? This was a while back, to be honest. It was a while back because I have changed therapists a number of times. But this was just one woman. Oh, we were going on good. I don't know. Maybe she thought I talked too much because at this point in my life I really would not deny that. Or she just imagined, okay, it's been enough of this, we've had enough of this, we're not supposed to go on any longer. But can you imagine the sort of trust issues you get from a therapist ghosting you? Hmm? I really cannot fathom the sort of brain that you gather up as a therapist and ghost a client. It just goes above and beyond in the entire planetarium of being good, being just, and just being good at your job. Like, if there was anybody that I can say was really, really bad at her job, I would say that that lady won the entire trophy. There is nothing that could justify that, to be honest. No word, no nothing. You just ghost me, and you're supposed to be. How do you expect me to trust any? You expect me to trust a random Tom, Dick, and Harry while you, as the person that I was supposed to be telling about the Tom, Dick, and Harry, is not listening to me because you just decided, okay, it is time to go mute. Okay, now I'm getting angry. I do not like it. Every time I remember what that lady did, it just makes me all fume up because what? Okay. Okay, today is getting way too personal. Way too personal for my existence. I need to take a breather almost every other time because what the fuck is going on? What is happening? I just need to breathe every other time, man. Anyways, another one. Another one I've heard about. Yeah, I'm transitioning on to heard about rather than experience because ain't no way. Yeah, lots of people also just have a huge problem with vulnerability. Like, you ever heard you met someone, they're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to settle down, I'm trying to meet someone to do this and this. And then the smaller sort of thing is like creating time to say maybe meet up or talk more often, it's even a problem. Or just opening up about the simple things about themselves, it also becomes a problem. And maybe it all goes back to everybody just has trust issues, because if you say they don't want to open up, it all goes back to what I just said before, guided communication. So maybe they have their own trust issues, you have your own trust issues. It is just a menace. Everybody is sick. We all need help. Nobody is safe out here. Absolutely. Never, ever. And then you realize other people literally have trust issues with even how they look. I mean, there is a lot of insecurity in like physical appearance, But to a certain extent, I feel like you should not give other people too much right to describe your own appearance to you. Like a while back, there was someone who you know how you can meet people whatever, and okay, I don't even remember how that part started, the context of that entire thing. But there was a man who was trying to he was telling me that he's ugly, and to some extent it felt like he expected me to convince him that he's not. Boy, you already believe this. You're telling me, and what am I supposed to do? You already are convinced. What am I supposed to do? If you say you're ugly, what can I say? Aren't you just supposed to go on and live? I mean, there's so much encouragement you can give to people, but other things you should just do for yourself. Yeah, you there's the niceness that you need to offer to the world, spread positivity and that. But you tell me you're ugly, and then I ask follow-up questions and you're like totally convinced, and you're talking like you're expecting me to convince you otherwise about your own looks. Sir, get somebody else to do it. I am so over it. It is just way too much power you're giving to other people. We should definitely do better. I mean, maybe if you meet a good person, someone who lives their lives by totally being kind to other people, you can expect that sort of like, oh, but no, you look so good, you do this. But you come to me, you tell me that, and you expect me to dedicate my entire day to convincing you that you look good. And it's not like we know each other like that. We just met. No, sir. You're ugly and you're ugly. There's just no way that we're helping you. Your time has run out. Okay, but to wrap this thing up, there is there really shouldn't be much pressure, to be honest. I really do not want to I really wouldn't say I put that much pressure in form of like, oh, identifying this is, I mean, to some extent it's very helpful to identify, oh, I might be experiencing this, or this might be a reason why I actually did this or I felt this way. But does it matter? At the end of the day, you're not going to tell me that I'm not going to overanalyze text, or just something that someone said, just because overanalyzing something like that might be some form of trust issue that you might have. You still have to analyze shit like that. At the end of the day, you're not going to tell me that I should not sit in bed and not take a shower or look for an outfit when I'm supposed to be meeting someone before they text. Because at the end of the day, you are going to have to get that confirmation. It's only common. If you do not, you're going to be looking like a clown, because there's nothing worse. Okay, there are worse things anyways, but in this context, nothing's going to be worse than being fully dressed, all done up, and then the person you're supposed to be meeting just hasn't said a single word. Like nothing. It's silence. It's total chaos in your head. And the other person's just going on with their day like the entire world's only revolving around them. No, baby. Your life has to only revolve around you. Or at least maybe for mine. But enough of that. I'm not really, it's not advice that I'm giving, because oh, God knows I cannot even offer any advice to myself, or even if I did, I really wouldn't keep it. But we should all feel free to be as delusional as we want to. If you feel like looking through every single name in that following list is what's going to confirm your suspicions, then go for it, baby. If you feel like having this unusual behavior of not defining things as they go, and you just just let it flow, oh, let's just go with the flow. If you're just trying to do that and you think it's fine, oh yeah, we should do absolutely that. The only other thing that I wouldn't say anybody should ever put themselves to is going through somebody's phone. That one, though, don't have that delusion. We can have all the delusions that we have, but please let us put a pause on that delusion, because that delusion is going to affect other delusions. And if you let one delusion affect the rest of the delusions that you had put up for that day, then your entire world is ruined. Your entire week is ruined. The entire day is ruined, because you cannot delude as much as you initially planned to be delusional. So let's not hurt ourselves intentionally. Also, if you feel like testing your partner for, like, oh, texting my boyfriend to see if he's going to reply back as another girl or whatever, if it's gonna make you happy to find out that you're being played and that your life's about to, crumble down into tears and tears for the next 2 months, then it's good delusion. It's a nice way to go with the world. It's a nice way to, feel like, oh, I am totally on top of the world. But not for me. Just got to a point where, if I have too much suspicion, then I already know that it's happening. If there is way too much suspicion, then there really isn't even a need to do the confirmation, because it is already going down. So it's either you accept it, or you just get it over with, because there is no way you're supposed to be hurting yourself. You're not supposed to be experiencing it. You can know in the background, but to experience it directly, to hear and see it directly, that is a whole other trauma that you are giving yourself. You're giving yourself a lot of PTSD that is unnecessary, that you did not even plan for your day. And all for what? The other person that's just being stupid and silly is just gonna go on. So, yeah, we have trust issues, but we live with them. The world's not gonna end just because you didn't trust somebody. Okay, the relationship might, but you get the point. You get the point. The world's not gonna end at this moment. And I'm getting way too personal here. Way, way too personal. I am not okay. This is the end of this episode. I am really not I'm not going to discuss this any further. Okay, wait, it's not really a discussion. It's more like a rant in my bedroom. But trust issues or not, I don't think the world's gonna end at that. Mm-mm. Anyways, that is all I had time for today for this episode on trust issues, on top of other rants. But then, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to listen to other episodes of this podcast, Girl in the World podcast, on every other podcast platform that you like. You can also look at what I'm doing on social media at girlintheworld.podcast. And let's live. Have a good whatever time you're listening. Bye.